Welcome back. As promised in the previous video, I now want to give you a little bit of additional information about the textbooks that you're going to be using for Classics 391. Once again, let me emphasize that with the exception of this one and also the Rome book, in fact, let's put Rome up here so that you can keep track of that one too. There we go. With the exception of these two, these can be replaced with other translations that you can find either online or in other hard cover copies as you choose. But these are the main ones that I use myself. And in those cases where I might refer to a text, these are the ones that I would be using as listed for you on the first page of your syllabus. Okay, so let me run through them for you once again so that you know what to obtain online. And again, the email that I sent to you the week before class started listed for you Amazon links for ordering these online if you should be unable or unwilling to obtain them from the URI bookstore as you choose. So make sure that you do order those if you have not already so that you'll be able to get those. All right, so the first text, once again, this is Peter Meinig's translation of Clouds, Wasps, Birds, and these are three of the 5 plays that you will be completing, written by the first comic playwright Aristophanes. Clouds has to do with the education system in Athens, especially as seen vis-a-vis the famous philosopher Socrates. Wasps has to do with the law system in Athens, the way that jury trials are conducted. And Birds has to do with the Athenian point of view about their own power all through the Greek world, especially as they were perceiving in the war that they had been fighting for quite a few years with Sparta. So these are 3 really funny plays, but they all have serious messages associated with them, mostly having to do with the war that Athens is fighting, and in some cases also general points about Athenian culture. So that's the first textbook. In the second part of the course that has to do with Aristophanes, you have 2 more plays that are included in this Penguin textbook and translation. There are Lysistrata, which is the sex strike that the women carry out against the men in Athens in 411 BC. And then some years after that is Aristophanes' final play in the 5th century BC during the Peloponnesian War period, and that's the one called Frogs, which is arguably his greatest, most well-crafted play in which he attempts to warn the Athenians of what they've done with the war that they've been fighting and what they need to do to save themselves in the war, advice that, of course, they don't heed. So that's that one. Menander, this text provides you with all of the fragments of Menander's plays. Aristophanes is an old comedy playwright, as we're going to talk about in a separate video, and Menander, new comedy, again, as we're going to talk about in a separate video. So this text provides you, as I say, with Menander's text. There's only one that you're going to be reading in here, and that's his most fully surviving play, almost complete, and that's Discolus, the one called The Grouch, all about this curmudgeonly old man who refuses to marry his daughter off to a husband as his paternal responsibility would call upon him to do. So the comedy has to do with trying to get this old geezer to carry out his fatherly duty as he's supposed to. Okay, so you'll be reading that later in the course. And then to close on comedy, we have the 2 Roman playwrights, Plautus and Terence. I am admittedly going to be focusing a lot more attention on Aristophanes, the Greek playwright. He's really the most fun one, and he, I think, has plays that are the most memorable and important for you to have. But we can't overlook the Roman efforts as well. Plautus and Terence are both very fine playwrights in their own rights, and this book by Berg and Parker has 5 translations of Plautus and Terence, and we're going to be reading 2 of them. And the 2 plays we're reading are this top one, Miles Gloriosus, is the braggart soldier, the one by Plautus, which is actually the last one that we'll be reading in the play. And then Terence's play called Adelphoi, which also means brothers, is the Terence play that we'll be reading. Okay, so make sure that you have this translation. Again, if you can't, I think that this translation really is the one you need to get because these are the most readable ones that I've ever come across. However, once again, if you have a hard time getting a hold of this book, other translations do exist on the Perseus database, or you can get other hard copy translations you choose. But I really strongly recommend this one. You really need to get this one. When you read the translations, you'll see why. Okay, World of Athens. I don't have its companion World of Rome with me, but World of Athens is the book by JECT. Again, pay close attention in this class to video days, which will be described for you in a separate video. Video day assignments require you to compare the videos on modern political commentary like Saturday Night Live, Comedy Central, Daily Show, Stephen Colbert, or whatever else, with the ancient comedies. And in order to understand how the connection can work well, and usually quite humorously and comically, you have to have some background on what Athens is like, and then when we get to Rome, on what Rome is like. So the World of Athens gives you background on Athenian culture, and the chapters that you're reading will tie in with the video day assignments as you see them on your syllabus and schedule on Sakai. So this is a very important book to get. Be sure you do get this one so that you will be able to complete the assignments. And then, of course, you also have the appropriate ones for World of Rome as well to deal with Plautus and Terence. Okay, so those are your textbooks. Should you have any difficulties about acquiring textbooks or using them, feel free, again, to email me. And we'll make sure that we accommodate as we can in terms of getting assignments completed. All right, so the final video for the series for the first day will cover the exams for the course. I will give you as complete information as I can so that you will know what to study for and be able to complete the exams appropriately. Okay, we'll see you next video on exams.